Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and work out two problems for you, and I hope that you did them before you watch this video. So just to see how your work compares to mine, and then the other two, I want you to do by yourself, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, so a wall with a height of 7.5 meters casts a shadow 12 meters long. How long is a pole that casts a shadow which is 60 meters long? We already talked about questions like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a drawing because I keep emphasizing make drawings, please. So here's my wall, and the wall is 7.5, and its shadow is 12 meters. So here's the shadow, and the shadow is 12 meters. So we look at it as a triangle, and then we have a pole. I'm gonna make it a different color. So here's a pole. It has a shadow that's 60 meters. So obviously it's a big pole, and the shadow, that's the shadow, it's 60 meters. So how high is it? That's the question. So I'm going to go ahead and put an X on it. And it's obvious that 12 and 60 correspond. They're both shadows. And the 7.5 corresponds to the X. So now we set it up as a proportion. 7.5 over X equals 12 over 60. Now we have talked about how you should simplify, every time that you can. And so I'm going to go ahead and do it this time to keep emphasizing that it's a lot easier when you do it that way. Okay. So when I simplify that, 6/30, I cut it in half, divided by 2. 3/15, again I cut it in half. And I can divide it by 3 one more time, and now I have 1 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this so it looks cleaner. And now it's easier to see. Okay, so 7.5 times 5, because I'm going to cross it out, and so 7.5 times 5, I'm going to do it on this side right here. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7, 35, that's 37. So X is 37.5. Okay. Now I want to double check. Okay. So here we go. It looks like, yeah, this should be bigger than that. Just like 60 is bigger than 12, 37.5 is bigger than 7.5. And again, maybe, when I'm making the connections, I see that, hey, if I know my 12s, 12 times 5 gives me 60. So 7.5 times 5 should give me this, and I already proved that. So again, if you see the scale factor, which we'll learn a little bit more later, scale factor is so useful, okay, for some questions that have easy numbers like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and and do the second one. Okay. Okay. 6 feet tall, 10 standing next to a cardboard box cast a 90 feet shadow. 9, I'm sorry. So I have a tent, and the height of it is 6 feet. And it has a shadow, so this is how high it is. And then you cast a shadow, that's 9 feet. So this is a 6, and that's a 9. I'll go ahead and erase this. Okay. If the cardboard is 2 feet tall, so there's a cardboard right here next to it, and this one's 2. How long is this shadow? So the shadow right here, it's what we don't know, so that would be X. All right. Again, same type of problem. This is like a triangle. And 2 will correspond to 6, as X will correspond to 9 because they're both shadows. Okay. All right. So let me put that as, I'm going to go ahead and use the 2 on top and the 6 on the bottom. So since the 2 and the X go together, so this would be X. They both come from the box, so the 9 will be on the bottom. Okay, so I can simplify this also again. Easier to, when you simplify. So this will be 1/3 when I divide it by 2. Okay. So look, now I don't think about 2/6. I think about 1/3. I'm going to rewrite it right here so it's easier to see next to the x9. Okay. 1 I'm going to multiply times 9 to finish the proportion. And 1 times 9 is 9, and then I divide it by 3. 9 divided by 3, it's 3. So x must be 3. Okay. I know it's an ugly drawing, but I'm doing it with my mouse. I'm sorry. So anyways, and now I'm going to go ahead and double check that the scale factor works. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 3 is 6. So 3 times 3 is 9. Okay. So that works. So how long is the shadow? 3 feet tall. All right. See you tomorrow.